And welcome back to the Off-Grid Garage in sunny hot Australia. Well, it's a late night show today. Today with a special episode. I have many requests from people wanting me to do tests and experiments and talk about this topic and explain something about a certain topic. So I thought I'm putting all these little requests into one video, so we've got them covered in one go. I will put all topics and chapters and timeframes down in the description so you can click on a specific topic if you are interested, and it jumps straight away to this time mark in the video. Well, the first request comes from John. John has sent me an email. I'm sure he has sent me an email. There was an email from John and he requested... Anyways, John has sent me an email and he requested a test with the... Yeah, John was sending... Where are you? Yeah, John was sending me an email and asked about a question about the Raspi and the USB ports here. Because when we set this all up months ago, and Jason sent me this email with the instructions, Jason actually said we can use a USB hub instead of plugging in all these connections directly to the Raspi. Because as you can see here, these converters here, they are fairly thick. And the USB connections, they're running on an angle a little bit. It is just too tight, so they don't fit quite nicely into the Raspi. If you have more than 4 devices to connect to, well, the Raspi has only 4 USB ports. So John was asking if we can use a USB hub and if it still works. Let's find out. Okay, so what I have here is a little USB hub. It has 4 USB 3 ports here, and this is the connector. So, okay, then let me plug in the USB hub first. If I can find a USB port, there it is. I've got a blue light here. Okay, then let's plug in the first device here, whatever that is. And let's watch the console and see if it comes back. This is with the USB hub now. That's the inverter. Hello, inverter. Okay, there's the next one. Could be one of the charge controllers. Must be. Is it east or west roof? I should actually label these plugs here so I know what it is. It's nothing so far. Oh, west roof. There it is. And this one must be east. And there's our east roof. And the black one here is our smart shunt. There it is. We've got now all 4 devices connected to the USB hub, which is then connected to a Raspi, and it still works fine. Well, while I got you here, I want to test something else. I've got a probably a 1.5 meter USB extension cable here, and I would like to plug this one in between the USB hub and the Raspi and see if it still works. Okay, so if we take this one off, we should see all the devices disappearing. Not connected, okay. And now we plug in the extension cable. Okay, it's plugged in. We've got a blue light. And let's see if they are reconnecting. Nothing so far. Oh, the inverter comes back. Smart shunt, west roof, and east roof. They're all here. Well, smart shunt is twice in there now. Okay, that's fine. That can happen because this is not the same USB port as I used before. So it gets a different USB ID now. And I'm sure there are people out there who can explain this better. But something like this it is. Okay, let's go one step further, and I've got a 5 meter USB extension cable here. Let's see if this works. Because John mentioned something about a vehicle and if he can use an extension cable to connect the devices, so I think we will test this as well with 5 meters. Give me a second. Okay. There's a 5 meter USB extension cable. It's a passive cable, so you've got just female and male, and there's no booster or something in between, no power supply, nothing. Okay, we plug in our, and then we use this extension, plug this one into our Raspi and see what's happening. Oh, this is Hang on. There's a bit of mess here now. All right, we are back. I just rebooted the Raspi. It gets a bit confused with all these unplugging and plugging in. Okay, so this is with 5-meter extension cable now. We've got a blue light here on the USB hub. And let's see if our devices are coming back. Inverter, smart shunt, east roof, west roof. Yay, they're all coming back. Okay, so yeah, this is all working with USB hub now and 5-meter extension cable. This is all fine. I think it makes sense that it works because there's only data being transmitted with these USB cables here. There's no power. The USB hub doesn't need to provide any power for these devices. They've got their own power supply, of course. So there's just data coming through these USB cables here, and that's why it works with a 5-meter extension cable as well. So this is all good to know. You can actually use one of these USB hubs here and make a really nice and neat, clean installation here with all your USB cables then. Okay, John, I hope this answers your question. If I can find your email again, I will reply and let you know that there is a video now with your question or your answer. And the second test in regards to the JK-BMS was requested by quite a few people. It is in regards how to start the BMS up. Once you connect it to the battery and connect all your balance cables, the BMS is not turned on. See, the LED is not flashing here. It is not turned on at the moment. So far, I have always used the power supply, connected it to the battery and started a bit of charging. If the charging voltage is about 3 to 4 volt higher than the battery voltage, the BMS turns on and then it stays on. So many people have said, well, you can just short the black and the blue cable to turn the BMS on. This apparently works with many BMSs, and even my good old friend Will Prose has shown this on his channel with several BMSs. So I'll give it a try. Okay, this is our black cable and this is our blue one. And there should be no spark, there should be nothing happening, apart from the BMS turning on maybe. Let's see. Okay, 3, 2, 1. I guess no. I guess this is a no. No, this is not gonna work. Sorry guys. Well guys, we failed. We cannot turn on the JK-BMS by shorting the black and blue cable. Unlike many other BMSs out there, it does not work with the JK-BMS. So there is a different method to turn on the BMS as well. You can just apply a voltage of 5 volts across P- and B-. And I'm just reading here in the Do-It-Yourself Solar Forum, just under my video, which comes up in Google. Nice. So here's the article from April 2021. It says it requires a 5 volt difference across the BMS to turn on. The voltage needs to be 5 volt higher on the P- side than on the B- side. I've got two 18650 cells here. I've got 8 volt out of these two cells. And we have the positive here goes to P-. And this is our negative of the two batteries goes to B-. And the BMS doesn't turn on. So I switched on Explorer mode and changed the polarity. We've got the negative on P- and the positive of your 5 or 9 volt battery. The positive goes to B-. And there we go. Flashes, it is turned on. So positive of your start battery needs to be on B-, negative of your battery on P-. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. So the JK-BMS can either be turned on by applying a 5 volt voltage across P- and B-, or connecting the charger for a moment. But you cannot short P- and B-, it won't turn on. I would really like this solution because we could just use a switch to turn it on then, but it's not working with this BMS, unfortunately. Okay, and then let's have a look what we have here. This has arrived 2 days ago, and this is our DC power supply. It is heavy, jeez. 2 terminals here on the back. Look, I don't want to do a full tech review on this power supply here. One of you guys has sent me a link to a technical review and test of this power supply here. If I can find it back, I'll link this down below if I don't forget. So watch this video from someone else who has done a full tech review on exactly this power supply here. This is the KPS 6020D. That means 60 volt. Well, it actually says it there. 0 to 60 volt and up to 20 amps. They use these power supplies here for galvanizing, plating, electrolytic conversion stuff and everything. So I have watched this review from this other tech guy there, and he said, well, the front plastic looks a bit cheap here. And exactly this was my first impression as well. It looks already a little bit yellowish, as you can see here. It looks a bit cheaper plastic here, but he tested it all and he said, well, the power supply is surprisingly good quality. It is stable, can deliver the 60 volt and 20 amps. And yeah, he opened it up and had a look inside and said, well, everything is well manufactured and it's a good power supply, good quality. As always, the link for this one is down in the description box. If you're interested, have a look. WenPTech power supply. WenPTech has all kind of different power supplies. So you can choose from 0 to 30 volt and have 40 amps. Or you can choose from 0 to 15 volt and have like 100 amps or whatever. So there's a whole series of these power supplies you can choose from. But I wanted the 60 volt power supply so I can charge a 48 volt battery here with a decent current. So it doesn't take weeks until we actually charge the battery. Let's connect it and see how it works. Oh guys, this is pretty cool. So we can charge the battery here with 52 volts, 20 amps. And look at this. We are discharging with 1.3 kilowatt from the inverter, from our battery, to charge this battery here. That is insane. The fan comes on. And then we can just press the button here and turn off the load again. And we can set the amps here without even having to short the terminals or something. You can pre-program the current before, and once you're ready, turn it back on and bang, there you go. Pretty cool and powerful. Okay, I have now entered the low state of charge of the battery here, so I have to turn it off, otherwise it will be dark in here very soon. Okay, so far it's working. As I said, I'm not doing a full review. We will use this one here for battery charging mainly. I've got this small one here still for my electronic stuff. This one is doing a positive air pressure. It sucks in the air from here. You can feel it coming out here on the side panels. Yeah, nice. Wow. Where is it? Here. And in the last part of this video, I want to read another email to you. I received yesterday. It is from Andy. Andy says, "Hey Andy, here's Andy from Andy's Garage. I just want to ask you about the QUCC BMS, especially the first one you bought, which had the faulty relay. What actually happened to this BMS?" Well, that's a very good question, Andy. If you remember the story, I still got the relay here with the not equalizer. What is it called? Economizer. It's an economizer board here. And we never could really find out what was wrong with this relay, because the contacts were not melted together. Andy is writing further, I'm watching all your videos and seeing this BMS in your shelf all the time. That's a bit harsh. It is sitting there for months now and you don't give a shit about it. This gets a bit interesting, this email now. When the fuck do you actually want to start repairing this BMS, hey? All your viewers are sick of all the doing in this garage. Just insane. You should just repair and test it and then go on in life. You cannot be it takes a year to repair. We can always see it in your video. So get this BMS repaired. Cheers, Andy. Wow, what an unpleasant guy. Okay, I think I'm not reading this email any further. So, yeah, well, Andy is referring to this BMS here. This is the first QUCC I had, which was in this black metal case, you know, from the other videos. And then, well, the relay failed. Yeah, and I bought a spare relay for it. It's the same as on the new QUCC BMS. But yeah, I've never actually connected everything and tested it. And okay, so I think it's time now to repair this BMS now, as Andy said, and test it. And then he wanted us to do the final test and show everyone how the BMS is actually charging the battery even if the relay is disconnected. How does this work? And this is exactly why I haven't removed the battery here. I want to connect the QUCC BMS to this battery and do a low voltage disconnect test and then charge the battery again, because people told me in the comments that this is not possible. The BMS cannot let any charge through if the relay is disconnected. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Everything is connected. I just need the Could that be it? Oh yeah, indeed it is. Okay, I have now temporarily connected all the balance leads to our... Oh, there's one gone here. Okay, fixed. Yeah, I have temporarily connected all the balance leads now to the terminals here. I just put the bare wire under the washers and tightened the nuts. That's it. Good enough for our test here. I still have to measure all the balance leads now to see what's going on, because maybe you can remember the QUCC was very special in connecting the balance leads. So the big connector is fairly straightforward from cell 1 to cell 13, but then we have number 14. There were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cables connected to one cell. This is this thing here. See there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cables connected to one terminal. And then there's a single one coming for number 15 and 2 cables together on number 16 again here. This is our most positive. There are 2 cables connected. And I've confirmed this with our big battery over there, because we've got the same BMS in this battery box. And it's all good. It's all good. I just measure everything and see if the voltages are correct. And then we are good to connect the QUCC BMS here to our test battery. Most negative is here. First one, 3.1. All right, turn up the pitch.
6, 9, 12, 13, 18, 21, 25, 28, 31, 34, 37, 40. No, 34.
Now, just let me clean this up a little bit here, just a tiny bit. Okay, so in theory, where is it? Here it is. In theory, we should be able to plug in our BMS now, and well, it should beep, and the relay may click straight away. I've checked all the voltages, it's all good. That's good. And the second one is in. Nice. Ah, you know what? I think I haven't connected the Bluetooth module again. This one has no Bluetooth. Oh. there it is. There it is. Bluetooth module antenna. Okay, I better turn it off before I plug this one in. And this one goes in here. So we should have a blue light on here as well once the Bluetooth is working. There we go. Okay, let's have a look in the... Oh yes, we have two Xiaoxiang BMSs now in there. Well, I would say it's the bottom one because the signal is stronger. It's only minus 34 decibel. Ah, now we've got a blue light. Right. There we go. Oh, cell number 1. Look at this shit. Cell number 1, no voltage reading. That is this one here. Got no voltage reading, right? 3.1 volts. Is there something wrong with the cable here? This looks alright to me. Seems to be okay. Haha. Guys, I know what it is. I think I just remembered that we had exactly the same issue with the other BMS when we connected it the first time. And what I have not done is connect the battery minus to our battery minus. And I think this is why the reading for the first cell is completely off. The same guy makes the same mistake again. Who would have thought? Yeah, it's all good. Yes. Oh, I can hear the relay clicking. Okay, we need to... Okay, screen recorder. And... need to plug it in first. Okay, let's try again. Oh, we've got the relay as well, which didn't click before. Which one is it? The C4, here, C4. Let's see if it works this time. Yes, we've got a reading on cell number 1. You should always connect the B minus to the battery as well if you connect your BMS. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let me check here. Battery positive and P minus. We should have the 50 volts. Yes, there we have it. Nice. So I'm quickly using Miss Piggy here to discharge the battery a bit via the inverter. And this shouldn't take too long because we are already at 3.1 volts. Okay, let's see what's happening. Maybe it takes a long time. Okay, let's change the parameters in here. This will take forever. So under voltage, we set this one to 3.1. And the release to 3.15. Confirm. Success. All right. So as soon as the first cell hits 3.1, the relay should turn off. There we go, cell number 7. Cell number 10. Which cell will make it? Number 7 or number 10? Number 10, number 7. 3.1 or 3. 102, number 10, number 7, 101, number 10. Is it number 10? 3.1. There we go. 3.1 volts turned off. BMS turned off. We have reached low voltage disconnect as programmed. Works. Here's the actual test we want to do. So the relay is off, inverter has turned off, everything has turned off, right? Let's take our charger here and set this one to... So what we are going to measure now is the following. So as we know, the relay has turned off now, so there's no connection in between these two terminals anymore here. But the QUCC BMS has this black wire connected to the PCB and connected to the output of the relay. You can not really see that from here. And the question was, if we put charge on the battery now again, How does the BMS know it needs to turn on the relay again to charge the battery? Because I have measured current going through this cable here, about 0.800 milliamps or something. So the battery actually charges through this cable. And I want to show you this here, on here. So you can see the amps here, and you can also see the BMS. The BMS turned, no, it's still turned off. Discharge button is still off there. And now I'm slowly increasing the voltage on the power supply. And let's see if we can see some current flowing. Okay, we had 50 volt now. 50.2. 50.3. 50.5. 30 milliamps. And we can see the current here going up as well. Now the relay has turned on again. And we are getting 3.7 amps into the battery now through the relay. Okay, let's test this again. 3.1 is our turn-off voltage. Okay. Again, BMS has turned off. Getting low voltage disconnect at 3.1 volts as programmed. And I'm increasing the voltage again on the power supply. So 50 volts, 5 milliamps now on the power supply, 20 milliamps, 30 milliamps. There it goes. Around 35 milliamps I could see here on the power supply. And then the BMS triggers the relay again, turns it on, and now we've got full 3.7 amps on the charger here, on the power supply. Well, it looks like I was a bit wrong with my... Probably have a bad memory or something, but I could swear I have measured around 800 milliamps going through this cable here when the relay was turned off. Stupid glasses. Obviously I was totally wrong, so there's almost no current going through this black cable. If the relay is turned off, there's only 30-35 milliamps going into the BMS here. Well, it comes out because this is a negative. As soon as the BMS recognizes these 35 milliamps, it turns on the relay again to charge the battery in a low voltage disconnect situation. Interestingly, this 10 watt 10 ohm resistor here is in series with this one. But there's more connected. There's not only the resistor, there's more. They are connected on the PCB here with two other devices which I cannot identify where they are going to. So obviously this is the pre-charge resistor. When we have load connected like inverters, before it turns on the relay, it pre-charges these capacitors. Otherwise you would have a very high inrush and could melt the contacts of the relay. Okay, that's good. At least this bloody Andy got me to repair the QUCC BMS here and test it again. Alright guys, I think this is all I have for this video for you. It is a fairly longish video anyway already. But if you made it until here, guys, get yourself a SPAT, ice cold, calibrate it nicely, and then we shall see us again in the next video. Until then guys, stay charged, stay safe, and thank you again for watching. See you then, bye bye.